education in the state of Meghalaya. To start off, we would request the Honorable Governor Sir to start our proceedings with the lighting of lamp.
Kom doorin. Sir, yeah.
Yes, Congress.
We are present, sir. Yes.
Proud privilege to welcome His Excellency, Honorable Governor, Sri C.H. Vijay. And we are so grateful, sir, to you that you have graciously accepted this movement to release our SOP and launch very important aspect of RTE, which is 12(1)C. And after you have arrived to the state, I'm sure some many things have happened. Just your presence itself in the state, and we have done tremendous good things, especially in education. I can say, I must say that. Yeah. With your inspiration, you are a great inspiration for me, especially personally, sir, and also all our officers. And and wisdom and also humility. It's a very rare combination that we can witness in you, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity, sir. Welcome you. And I would like to welcome our respected Commission Secretary to Governor, Honorable Governor, Media Tiwari, sir. Sir has been so kind, always ready to help us and support us in whichever way he can. He has a lot of experience in education department, and his support is always something great for us. It's helpful for us. I would like to welcome our SPD, State Project Director, SSA, Jagdish Chalani, IAS, and also would like to welcome Director, Social Welfare Department, CD Lingua, MCS, and other officials. We have Indus Action, sir, a good NGO which is working in this field, in other states also, very reputed institution. And all the principals who are here, and orphanages, in charges of orphanages, and my dear children. Today I would like to, sir, with your permission, I would like to just briefly introduce this this section 12(1)C for the benefit of everyone who are here. May I have the presentation, please? Slide. So this is the constitutional background, sir. In Constitution of India came into effect in January 26, 1950. The Article 45, it's a part of the directive principles of state policy. It says that the state shall endeavour to provide within a period of 10 years from the commencement of this constitution for free and compulsory education of all children until they complete the age of 14 years. This it came into force in 1950, but it has taken almost 60 years for this to come into effect. In this Article 45 was replaced by Article 21A in 2002. Next. In 2002, with the 86th Constitutional Amendment, sir, this Article 45 was replaced with Article 21A, where we have given right to education. It said the state shall now. Earlier it was state shall endeavour, but now it is converted to state shall provide free and compulsory education to all children of the age of 6 to 14 years in a manner as the state may by law determine. So earlier it was up to 14 years, now we have limited ourselves saying that from 6 to 14, not from before 6, but from the age of 6 to 14 years, which is roughly class 1 to class 8. Next slide. This is another important amendment to the Constitution, sir. It happened in 93rd Constitutional Amendment, which is important for 12(1)C. It was introduced in 2005, where this provision has empowered the state to make special provisions, including reservation for socially and economically backward classes, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes in education institutions. After this, we have introduced reservation in education institutions. So this background is very useful for 12(1)(c). Another aspect of change after our independence is the rise of private unaided schools. Before independence, it was purely government institutions they were dominating, and slowly there is a rise of private institutions, private schools have come up, and then the parents, the students started preferring. The preference has shifted towards private schools, and of course the private schools are coming with huge amount of fees, and that has created a big gap in the social and economical divide has become very clear. So if we have to if you have to establish inclusive education and right to education, there is a situation where we have to go beyond government schools. Only when we enter the private schools, the right to education can be effectively implemented. Sir. Next. So, sir, with this background, I want to come to the RTE Act. It was enacted in 2009, sir. August 4th, it was enacted, but came into force only in 2010, April 1st. That's a financial year of the beginning financial year, sir. The four major, it's a big act, sir, but if you see that there are four major components of this act. One is that no child is required to pay fees or charges for the elementary education. That's up to class 8. No child shall be required to pay fees. Second is the earlier, before this RTE Act, a child can enter only in class 1 or pre-primary education. That's KG or class 1. In between, it was by law it was not allowed. But now with this, out of school children can get admission anywhere. If his age appropriateness is something that we see, based on the age appropriateness, any stage, class 8, class 7, any stage they can get admission. Though there are certain prohibitions are involved. The number 3 is that the physical punishment, the teachers cannot inflict physical punishment, cannot even inflict mental harassment, and while admitting the children, you cannot do interview, you cannot conduct interview, you cannot conduct even profile the parents based on their educational qualification, based on their financial background. The profiling is banned. So the background is this, that the rationale is that all the children are equal, and only when they get admission, when the environment is similar, perhaps they will have an opportunity. So profiling of the children or parents is not allowed, so under this. The quality of standards, this is another important aspect of RTE, where it has established the quality of standards for the teachers, for infrastructure, for the number of teachers that has to be there. So this standard is mentioned, so only when the standard is allowed, the school can continue to function, otherwise the government can take action against the school. Next. So coming to the section 12 of the RTE Act. Section 12, there are 3 parts, sir. We will talk about only the C, but the first part is basically we have to provide free admission to all the children in the government schools. That's 12(1). 12(1)(a). 12(1)(b) is in the aided schools. They have to reserve 25% free of cost. 12(1)(c). 12(1)(c) talks about unaided schools, unaided private schools, where we have to reserve 25% seats, and they have to provide 25% seats to weaker section and also disadvantaged group children in the neighborhood, and provide free and compulsory elementary education. Sir. Next. So the core mandate of this section 12(1)(c) is that private unaided non-minority schools must reserve a minimum 25% of their entry-level seats for children of economically weaker section and disadvantaged group. So these non-minority schools have been added later parts. When there was a Supreme Court case, all the private schools have approached Supreme Court saying that we cannot reserve 25% and provide free education because we are hand to mouth. So they have made many these things. Then with that, non-minority schools have been exempted. And also the another change that has happened, that government has agreed to sponsor this 25% children. So that's where we come. Next. So when it came in force in 2010, in 2011, our Meghalaya government has enacted the rules and drafted its rules. So it has clearly provided for 12(1)(c), especially for 12(1)(c). This is very, very important for us. It says that the children admitted under this section shall not be segregated from other children. Other rich children, they are poor children, you cannot segregate them in the classroom. you cannot conduct separate classes for them in separate timings and separate place. They have to be integrated with the regular students. So you cannot separate them in any form. And the second part says shall not be discriminated from the rest of the children in any manner pertaining to their entitlements or facilities like textbooks, uniform, literary and ICT facilities, extracurricular sports. Extracurricular activities you cannot separate them. So they should not know that they are separate, they are reserved candidates 25%, poor children paid by the government. So that discrimination should not happen. This is a very important rule that we brought in 2011. Sir. Next. So this is the background. Yeah, next. This is the background why I want to present here, sir. Why we have delayed so much. Like in 2011 we had the rules, but now we are 2025. After 14 years we are doing, because the demand also is one thing that we have to see. If you see the aided schools, number of aided schools, we have 4,172. Almost 30% aided schools we have. If you see the national average, we have 5%. So since we already have the aided schools, so there was demand was little less. That's why we have there was a delay in implementation. Perhaps that's what I came to understand. Next. So this is the eligibility, sir. There are two categories of people eligible. EWS category. EWS category, Social Welfare Department generally they notify time to time who comes under EWS category. The second category is very important, sir. That is disadvantaged category. In this category, all the orphan children are allowed, are given free education in the private unaided schools. Children belonging to single parent family and street child living on child with special needs category. The street child living on the street or off the street. HIV affected / infected children. A child who is a victim of any armed conflict and civil commotion, ethnic clashes. Child who is found vulnerable and is likely to be inducted into drug abuse and trafficking, child of a commercial sex worker, a child who has no one to take care of, a child whose parent or guardian is such that is incapable to take care of the child. So this way we have different various categories, sir. And we also have the exclusion category. If the child's parent belongs to government service, that we have exempted with, and there is a 2 lakh income, 2 lakh family income. If they belong to that category also, they are exempted. So this is going to be a huge benefit to the children who can get now admission into a good school, a private unaided school, free of cost. Next slide. This is the implementation mechanism, sir. So we are going to reimburse the children. From the government is going to do that, and we have a formula for that, sir. And next slide I will explain. And it's a totally entire process is in a transparent and fair manner we are doing on online. Next slide. So this is the reimbursement mechanism, sir. So every school, we will calculate their actual fee, how much they are charging to other children, and we will also calculate at the same time how much government is spending in the government school per child. Whichever is lower, we will reimburse that amount, sir. This basically will ensure that they don't charge exorbitantly high, so that just because the government is paying, they don't just increase the fee and then charge more on the government. So this formula will facilitate that. Next slide. We have a fairly transparent reimbursement process. So one admission is happening online portal, and in the online portal they will register. The schools will register, as the children will register. Admission is done online through a lottery basis. There are more applicants, more than 25%. It happens through a lottery basis, and after that. So once the admission happens, then after that they submit the data. How many children are taken the admission? The data is submitted. The victim records are submitted. After that, we will do the verification, and then we will calculate how much reimbursement is to be done. We still have huge challenges. Basically, the main problem is that maybe the reimbursement that we are giving may be not sufficient for some of the good schools who are international standard schools, because of the amount of investment that they have done and the fees that they are charging. The reimbursement may not be sufficient because we have whichever is lower we are taking. So that's one hurdle they might face. Second is the payment may be delayed because every time other children so far they're taking fees in advance. So every child has to pay in advance, but the government will pay later on. So that might discourage them. And also they are procedural farmers. Earlier they did not do anything. Now they have to claim the reimbursement, and this is the procedures they have to follow. So that is one thing. But also non-tuition costs. There are now a lot of, if you see the good international schools, a lot of non-tuition fees are there. of the uniform caste, insufficient caste.